Across the ring stands a seasoned opponent, a champion in his own right. Skilled, conditioned, confident. The fight is a back-and-forth exchange. Neither man gives ground. But then the clinch comes. And that's when everything changes. In seconds, he's locked in place, knees spearing in like a piston to the body and head. Another fight. Another opponent broken by the same weapon. Dieselnoi Chorthanasukarn didn't just win, he dominated. He was a fighter so dangerous, he was stripped of his title and forced into early retirement because no one wanted to fight him. But to understand how he became the most feared knee fighter in Muay Thai history, we have to go back to a time before his name echoed through stadiums. Dieselnoi was born in December 1961 in Thailand's Ayutthaya province. He started training Muay Thai at 13 and moved through various gyms over the years. Even in his early teens, Dieselnoi's height set him apart, a physical trait that would go on to define his entire fighting style. Because once he found his style, few could survive it. Muay Thai, the knee fighter. It's a style few truly master, but Dieselnoi didn't just master it. He warped the style around his frame and turned it into a weapon of attrition, constant pressure, and accumulated damage. At 6 feet 2 inches, fighting in the lightweight division, he brought a frame that most fighters simply struggled to deal with. He would walk forward, close the distance, and when he locked the clinch, the knees came in like clockwork. He didn't just knee opponents in the ribs during the clinch, he kneed them in the face as well. And the worst part, everyone knew what Dieselnoi was going to do, and no one could stop it. But what happens when no one can beat you? What happens when you become too dangerous for your own division? In January 1981, Dieselnoi won the Lumpinee Stadium Lightweight Championship. But his dominance came with a cost. Few fighters wanted to face him. Promoters struggled to find willing opponents. He was a king with no challengers, a ghost in the rankings. And with no one left in the lightweight division willing to fight him, Dieselnoi turned to catchweight bouts. In December 1982, a super fight with one of Thailand's favorite Muay Thai fighters was made. Dieselnoi versus Samart Payakaroon. Size versus skill. Knees versus IQ. It was the kind of fight fans still talk about like myth. Samart, the golden boy of Muay Thai, was known for his slick footwork and ring control. The fight was tense. Samart stayed outside, picking shots. Dieselnoi stalked, and when he locked the clinch, those knees came in. Dieselnoi won on points, and the message was clear. Even one of the most brilliant fighters in Thailand at the time couldn't escape the inevitability of those knees. After defeating the nation's most beloved fighter, Dieselnoi still had nowhere else to go. Matchups remained scarce. So once again, he looked beyond his division. And in June 1984, close to 1.5 years after his fight with Samart, another super fight was made. This time against one of the most dangerous men in the sport, Sagat Petchyindee. Sagat was a powerhouse with thunderous punches and known for his aggressive style. While Dieselnoi ruled in the clinch, Sagat was feared for his fists. When they met, it was a clash of two elite forces with completely different weapons. What followed was a brutal, high-stakes battle. Heavy shots, relentless pressure, and no room to breathe. The crowd got a war, and in the end, Dieselnoi walked away with the points decision. They ran it back 4 months later. Same stakes, same intensity, same result. Dieselnoi outpointed Sagat again. With no other challengers, Dieselnoi would go on to remain idle for another 10 months until his next wars with rising star Krongsak. Krongsak was a skilled and highly dangerous Muay Thai fighter who had beaten Sagat 3 times. Krongsak and Dieselnoi fought twice in 1985, first in August, resulting in a draw, and again in October, where Dieselnoi won. At 23, this would be his final fight in Thailand. Dieselnoi was undefeated for 4 years. He had beaten some of the best in Thailand. He dominated the sport. But even he couldn't overcome the reality of his situation. He was simply too good for his own time. With no willing opponents, Lumpinee stripped him of his title due to inactivity, and not long after, Dieselnoi retired from the sport. After retiring, Dieselnoi faded from the spotlight. There were no massive endorsement deals, no farewell tour, just silence. It was a cruel reality of Muay Thai in that era. Legends weren't rewarded, they were forgotten. But time has a way of correcting things, because years later, as Muay Thai gained global popularity, fans and fighters began to rediscover the legend of Dieselnoi. They studied his fights, imitated his clinch, revered his name. And slowly, the world remembered what Thailand always knew. This wasn't just a champion, he was a once-in-a-generation weapon. Today, Dieselnoi is a symbol, not of fame, but of greatness. In a sport already defined by chaos, Dieselnoi added something terrifying: inevitability. Everyone knew what Dieselnoi was going to do, and no one could stop it. And in the end, it wasn't defeat that ended his reign, it was his dominance.